Dear Dr. Dale, recently I began to suspect that my wife of 13 years might be having an affair. So when she was at work one day, I went through her drawers and found a fuzzy tail attached to a shiny metal knob. Having no idea what it was, I looked it up online and discovered that it is a type of butt plug. As my wife and I are both born-again Christians and very active in the church, you can imagine my utter shock and surprise. When she came home from work, I presented her with the tail and demanded an explanation. She insisted she is not cheating on me and that she bought the gently used tail on Facebook Marketplace because next month she's planning to audition for a local production of Cats, and she thought it might help her get into character. Method acting, I guess. Well, the other night, as I was helping her practice her lines for the audition, I found myself becoming sexually aroused as she danced around singing Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser. My question is, if I have sexual relations with my wife while she's wearing the tail, is it considered bestiality? We very anxiously await your reply. Yours in Christ, Keith Tinderwood, Fort Brenda, Louisiana.
You are wise to look into this because God is quite adamant that bestiality is an abomination, which is why he called it bestiality and not sweet animal love or quadrupedal pleasure. He wanted to make sure you knew good and well what you were doing, and that's having sex with a beast. And his utter disdain for it is all right there in the Bible, though if you ask me, it's kind of pathetic that it has to be. I mean, you'd think people would just naturally know not to go around buggering the beasts of the field, but I guess that's giving humans too much credit. And if it was just one person doing it, the others could just haul them aside and say, "Hey, Ezra, keep your schmeckle out of the goats," or, "Hey, Esther, that donkey does not love you and is only using you for one thing." But apparently, there were enough people partaking in these sins of the fur-covered flesh that God had to write out a whole list of rules regarding it. And ye best familiarize yourself with those rules before taking things any further with that tail-wearing wife of yours. For instance, in such a case of the bumping of interspecies uglies, the man and the beast must both be put to death. Now, some people may ask why it is necessary to put the animal to death, when in most cases the animal is an innocent victim. Though it should always be taken into account what the animal was wearing, if perhaps it had a little too much to drink, or whether it offered up some type of come-hither look. I mean, there's bestiality, then there's forcible bestiality. Now, as far as whether having sex with your wife while she's wearing the tail would amount to bestiality, I think that would depend on whether she makes any animal-like noises during the coital act that she wouldn't otherwise make. For instance, if she suddenly starts to howl like a wolf, yap like a chihuahua, or growl like a she-tiger in heat, why, I'd grab that tail and yank it out just as fast as I could. You don't want to get on the Lord's bad side on this one. You also don't want to send your wife to the ER, so perhaps yank is not the word I was looking for. Let's go with extract, but quickly. However, on the other hand, if your wife exhibits no signs of wild animal-like behavior and just lies there like roadkill, well, then welcome to my world, LOL.